All workouts work. Listen, over the last 18 years running SoldierFit and now the Herd, one of the things that I really do have a great deal of empathy for and understanding when it comes to people not starting an exercise program is there's so much conflicting information. Should I do keto? Should I do powerlifting? Should I be focused on running? What about getting my steps in? Can I drink this? Can I eat that? Often I'm asked, is SoldierFit the best workout you can do? And my answer has always been and will always be, no. The best workout you can do is the one you will do. Now, if you came to me and told me, Danny, you can come swim in my pool unlimited, swim as much as you want, all day, all night, $1 a month. Thank you. That's a great deal. It's an awesome value. I'm not coming. I don't want to swim. Chlorine kills my skin. I don't want to mess with it. But swimming absolutely works. Weightlifting works. Boxing works. Rowing works. Cycling works. Walking works. Powerlifting works. Marathon works. Pilates works. Bar works. Boot camp works. It all works. Same thing is true for diets. Keto works. Carnivore works. Vegan works. Mediterranean works. Fasting works. They all work. The question isn't whether or not an exercise modality or a meal plan works. The question is, will you work? And when we talk about trying to solve that problem, it begins with a couple things. Thing number one, what is it that you enjoy? If trying to set your ass on a tiny bicycle seat is not fun for you in any way, shape, or form, it doesn't matter how often I tell how much I stress the importance and the benefits of cycling. If you absolutely hate doing it, if you feel foolish putting on that onesie that you have to get into if you're going to cycle competitively, if you don't want to cycle on the highway and you don't feel safe there, you feel like you're a hindrance to other traffic people on the road, by the way, you are. If you feel like that, then you're not going to cycle, no matter how good it is for you. If you have never gotten up at 4 a.m. in your life, and the thought of getting up at 4 a.m. just absolutely makes you want to vomit, then there's no point for you to sign up for a 5:30 a.m. class. Yes, that 5:30 a.m. class is awesome. Yes, that 5:30, it's great to start your day and get it done so you don't have any more excuses. But if you know that you're not going to get up at 4 a.m., then what is the point of saying you are? Because all it does is actually makes you a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. You say you're going to do something, knowing good and damn well you're not, and then you don't, and now you can't even believe and trust in you. So the first thing is to figure out, and this is easy, right? What is the exercise modalities you don't like? Does going and doing a yoga class, is that too slow pace? It's not going to excite you. On the flip side is a boot camp, too many different exercises, or you don't want to be in a group. You don't like that. So we start with what is it that you don't like to begin with, because those things are easy to peel away. Then we figure out what modality do we like. Now, a great way to figure out what you like is to actually start looking at your specific goal. While all workouts work, not all workouts are effective for different outcomes. So for example, if you told me that it was important to you that you wanted to run a marathon, that was a milestone that you wanted to check, it's something that gets you excited. Well, we shouldn't send you to a powerlifting gym, because while going to that powerlifting gym is going to get you stronger, it's going to do absolutely nothing to help you complete a marathon run. So matter of fact, it's probably going to make it a little more difficult. Counter to that, if you wanted to compete in a powerlifting competition, I probably shouldn't send you to a marathon coach and have you running 2-3 hours a day. It's going to be really, really hard I would argue nigh impossible for you to actually make any real progress on your powerlifting goals if you're out here running 10 miles a day in training and prep. So that's the first thing we have to look at. If we can establish a very clear goal about this is where we are right now and this is where we want to go, then to be able to look around at the different modalities out there becomes much, much easier for you to pick the one that is going to help you get there the best and fastest. The same thing happens with dieting. Listen, if you hate vegetables, I don't care how good you think being a vegan is, you're going to be a really bad vegan. Vice versa. If you're not a big fan of meat and I try to shove carnivore down your throat, you're probably not going to be successful. Now, dieting has another caveat to it. One of the things that I personally don't advocate for is any type of restrictive diet, especially out the gate. If you're someone that needs to lose the weight and you know you need to lose weight, you know you're overweight, 81% of your initial weight loss comes from modifying your diet. Maintaining that comes from your exercise program. This is one of the reasons people yo-yo, is because they go in and they're very serious about trying to lose this weight and they just slash their calories. They put themselves in a massive caloric deficit and of course the weight falls off. But they're doing next to no exercise to support it. On top of the fact that they're dramatically under eating, it means that this is going to run its course in probably no more than 12 weeks max. They're going to plateau. They're going to get fatigued. They might set themselves up for injury. And more importantly, this is just going to be so miserable, they're not going to keep up with it. So can we figure out what is the real goal? If you have a generic fitness goal, like, hey, I want to be down 10, 20, 30 pounds. If that is the thing that gets you up in the morning and gets you out of the bed, maybe you had a scare at your last doctor visit. Maybe you didn't like what you saw in the mirror. Maybe you just knew that you wanted to be a better example for your kids and your grandkids. And you're like, I need to lose 20 to 30 pounds. Any general overall fitness program, when paired with a sustainable diet, is going to work. Now, when we talk about sustainable diets, we go back to this idea of restrictive. Restrictive gets you in trouble because let's go carnivore, for example. A lot of people do that. At some point in time, if you're going completely cold turkey off carbs, you're probably going to end up wanting some carbs. You go and eat those carbs, you now violated your diet protocol, you now feel like a failure again, and then you just completely abandon it. But even something that's a little less restrictive like keto still becomes extremely difficult to pull off if you're somebody that's on the go. So if we went at this from an approach of a general focus on macros, let's say 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fats, you're going to probably be able to find that breakdown anywhere you go in the United States. So if we take that sustainable basic diet, it doesn't restrict anything, doesn't keep you from having a particular food group. If it fits in your macros, then you're fine. That's going to be easy to maintain. And you pair that up with really any general overall wellness plan. Everything that I mentioned ahead, boxing, cardio kickboxing, Pilates, yoga, walking, boot camp, any of these programs are going to help you get down that 20 to 30 pounds because you're going to be eating clean for the most part. You're going to be in a caloric deficit while still giving your body enough to build muscle and recover. Now, if you're the person that's what's getting you out of bed, really any program works. If you're somebody that says, I have a specific goal and an outcome that I want to accomplish, again, let's go back to you want to run that marathon. It's going to be really important for you to go find a marathon coach, somebody that's going to help build out a program that's going to gradually build you up until you get to that level ready to run your first marathon on whatever date that you pick. If you want to put on lean muscle mass, then your best programs for that are going to be programs that include resistance training. So some of the boot camp programs, a standard typical big box gym, Obviously a powerlifting gym. Any of these things that are focused around resistance training are going to do wonders for you. If you want to go out there and crush swimming, well, it's pretty self-evident. You got to go grab a swimming pool to be able to do it. The point of all of this is stop asking what is the best workout to do. Stop asking what is the best meal plan to do, and instead reframe it this way. What do you want the exercise or meal plan to do for you? What is the outcome you require so that you feel successful? And once we know that, then we can start pulling away the programs and the diets that don't support it, and we can hone in on the programs that are going to actually get us one step closer to the goal that we set for ourselves. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It does not matter how you get there as long as you get there and you're able to maintain it once you're there. Because the goal of getting in shape isn't to simply get in shape only to fall back out of it. The goal of getting in shape is to stay in shape for the rest of your life. And that all starts with finding the things that you like to do and motivate you. To hell with what anyone else says. If you have any questions, got any deep dives you want to go into what your particular goal is, go right ahead, leave a comment below. I'll be happy to help you find something. Until next time, keep living your life. Head down, horns up, salute.